All right. So I probably waited way too long to do this, but I wanted to put together my own list of the Marvel movies. Um, I will state that some, if not most, of all the post Endgame stuff I have not watched. Some of it I have. Um, if I haven't seen it, it means I'm not intrigued by it. So it's gonna go into the category of just if I don't care to see it, then it can't be that great. So it's going into trash. And from what I'm seeing, there is a lot here. Um, there's quite a bit. There's even shows and shit. So we're on the all up to date with Quantum Mania. All right, so we're just gonna jump into this Ant-Man and Wasp. I didn't like it. It was stupid. Same with Ant-Man. None of the Ant-Man movies were good. Um, I didn't think anything were detrimental to the story in any way, shape, or form. It was just meh. I no. Um, I'm gonna put Age of Ultron at an A tier though. Um, simply because it's the last time that we get to watch Hulk actually be Hulk. Um, and I'll explain more later as far as why I'm making this a significant point. I don't want to say too much because there's something else I want to bring up later. Um, Infinity War was S tier. The movie was fantastic. It's not often that you see a movie go through such hard tropes and end up with the bad guy winning. And so everyone's just kind of going, "Duh, what are we supposed to do?" It it was fantastically done. Um, uh, Captain Marvel, I liked a little bit better than Ant-Man series. I don't think it's quite a C tier. Um, Ant-Man could be put into utter trash, but I have different stipulations that apply for down here, which is why I added that utter trash thing. Um, yeah, I. Mm, mm, mm. It was okay. It wasn't anything fantastic. It wasn't anything great. Um, the fuck one is this? The Winter Soldier S tier. Winter Soldier was something that I thought was really good. The way that they kind of put everything through the ringer and really just showed how deep Cap's loyalty goes really kind of helped solidify him to me as a really good character. Um, I'm gonna put the first Avenger as S tier as well. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I love that movie. I've probably watched that movie almost as much as I've watched the Spider-Man movies. Um, but yeah, the Civil War is going right up there too. Um, if nothing else, the airport scene made it for me. I remember being so giddy seeing Underoos come flipping into the picture. I absolutely enjoyed every moment of it. Um, Doctor Strange. Uh, no, it was better than Captain Marvel. Um, no, no. Doctor Strange was just it was okay. I've watched it a couple times. I've only watched Captain Marvel once. I think I may have rewatched it one time. Just kind of go, is there something? No, but it was just okay. Um, which I think is is not a good thing when it comes to a movie, because you want at least some memorable parts that you can go back to and enjoy, like for Civil War, the airport fighting scene. For me, I loved all of the struggles that Steve was going through in the first Avengers before he became Captain America. And then after Captain America, I was like, whatever. I liked that pure underdog, not give up. If all I'm gonna be is a punching bag for someone else so you don't beat on someone else, I'm okay with it. So and this has to go right back up there. Endgame was really good. On Your Left brought tears to my eyes, and It's Okay, You Can Rest Now made those tears come out of my eyes. Just those two movies combined is just fantastic. Like, that's pure comic book stuff, man. Guardians of the Galaxy, about B. It was better than everything below it, but nowhere near as good as the stuff above it. The first one was better. Volume 2, I didn't really care for. Just kind of meh. Spider-Man Homecoming. I think that's what that is. I can't tell. Why are these things so goddamn small? I mean, there's a long thing there. I'm pretty sure that's... No, that's No Way Home. No Way Home was A tier. Because there's Mysterio. The Edward Norton Hulk. It was kind of bad. Not gonna lie, it was kind of bad. Iron Man 3. I'm gonna put it in utter trash, and it's lightly being put in there. And it's mostly because of the Mandarin flip, and then the way they just kept leaning into it in later films. It just really, really set me off. Wait, no, it's Iron Man 2. Hold on, no, Iron Man 2. Jesus Christ, make these things bigger. Iron Man 3 goes in there. Yeah, the Mandarin flip was just some of the worst writing, man. It was bad. First Iron Man is S tier for me. It's another guilty pleasure that I'll go back to and watch from time to time. I've always enjoyed that movie. Black Panther was okay. I know there's people that are like, this was the most liked. Like a movie for what it does, not who it puts in there. That's all the more I'm going to say on that. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That was one of the hardest deaths that have hit me in the celebrity world in quite some time. That shit stung me for like 3 days, man. I was just completely beside myself. This is Homecoming, I think. Yeah, Iron Man. Yeah. S tier. First Thor, D. Thor Dark World, utter trash. Ragnarok, utter trash. No. The Thor movies are all terrible. Every single one of them, and they get progressively worse. And I don't understand how you can keep screwing up a character who has really, really good stories and you just do such a terrible job at telling them. Ragnarok for me is like one of the worst. You take a really, really fantastic Hulk story and you just shit all over it by making everyone just a punchline. Personally, I blame Taika Waititi on that. No, man. Whatever the hell you thought you were doing, you failed fucking miserably and you pissed me off. you destroyed Planet Hulk as a freaking film. If you get a chance to watch the animated one, do so. The movie is incredible. The book is incredible. And if you watch that, you might share some of my sentiment as far as why Thor Ragnarok is utter trash. First Avengers movie, just because it was the first kind of ensemble, man. It's still great to just go back and watch that one. As much as I loved it at the time, later on the line, I did not like that's my secret cap. I'm always angry. Rawr, and then he goes into it. But because that's a little too cheesy, but that's comic book cheesy. That's kind of what you're looking for when you see these things. WandaVision is going middle ground, simply because, once again, it started off with a really good premise, and then it just kind of tanked, and I couldn't figure out why not just lean into making her the villain that you're trying to. She does get a redemption arc later in the books, so just lean into the villain, just lean heavily into it. And they were like, we don't want women to be portrayed as bad. Women can be bad too. Charlize Theron won an Oscar for Monster. Women can be bad too. Make Wanda bad. She kills off almost every mutant in the damn comics, just by saying no more mutants. Three words, and her chaos magic pretty much wipes them out. So lean into it. Don't pussyfoot around. It pissed me off. Falcon and Winter Soldier I liked better than WandaVision. I thought it was a little too heavy-handed at the end. I did like how there was that whole thing to where Steve and Bucky didn't really think too far into making Sam Captain America by, like, so you had a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, and then you're going to give it to a black guy, and you're going to think that everything's going to be okay, and you're just supposed to accept that I'm Mr. America. So I did like how they kind of leaned into that. Loki, I'm putting in utter trash because I didn't give a shit enough to watch it. It never interested me. I'm like, why? And from everything that I heard about it, it was probably a good thing that I skipped it. Shang-Chi, yeah, it was boring. My big question that I had with Shang-Chi was, how is he going to help take out the next big bad guy in the movies? Because he didn't do much of anything in the movie at all. He basically played distraction and let other people finish things off for him. So what the fuck is his purpose? Piss poor writing. Figure out your heroes. I can't put Black Widow any farther down than that because Florence Pugh was amazing. As was Red Guardian guy. Can't remember his name. But those are the two best parts of the movie. Other than that, this movie is completely forgettable and skippable. What If? Utter trash. I didn't give a shit to watch any of it. There was absolutely no episode that popped up that went, I'm curious. Nope. Did not care. Not one bit. Not one goddamn show. My whole thing after all they were done, I said, what if you actually put out an episode that I wanted to watch? Because you didn't. Oh, well, no. No. All the premises were fucking stupid. Hawkeye, I'm going to put it D tier. I understand that they were going more towards the Matt Fraction, David Aja route. And while I respected it, they kind of did a bait and switch because Hawkeye wasn't really involved. It was all Kate Bishop. And Kate Bishop's cool. I respected her for her part in it. And I liked that they kept some of the things from that comic. But ultimately it was just sort of, we're going to call it Hawkeye, but he's not really going to be there. His whole thing is, I'm trying to get home. I can't do this. I'm trying to get home. I can't do this. I'm trying to get home. I can't do this. I can't hear anything. I got to get this fixed. Okay, I'll help a little bit. Oh my God. And it was, Eternal's utter trash. I got 10 minutes in, didn't give a goddamn shit what I was watching. It's fucking stupid. If you can't capture someone's attention in the first 10 minutes, you fucked up. That's, which one is that? That No Way Home? It might be No Way Home. Yeah, it's gotta be, because that's Homecoming. Yeah. Actually, no. No. This is going down here, and I'll tell you why. The thing that pissed me off, and I had a lot of respect for them when they were running the Spider-Man movies, is they didn't give us the origin again. They didn't give it to us. They didn't give it to us. They didn't give it to us. Like, cool, we are finally past this. We don't need to have him get bit again. We don't need an explanation. We don't need to have him defending his uncle. We don't need to have him avenging his uncle. We don't need any of this. And then you go through the motions of making it the origin story, only you leave him with nothing. You unnecessarily kill Aunt May off, which you did not need to do, because you already like subtly addressed the entire origin story in the first fucking movie. In Homecoming, whenever Ned catches him and he's climbing on the ceiling, he goes, no, Aunt May can't find out. After everything that's happened, it'll kill her. So we've already established with that line, we've already been through all the Uncle Ben stuff. It just, well, it hasn't happened on screen. And so there was a lot of fan service that just utterly pissed me off. And I watched the movie once, and I probably won't watch it again. It was an utter disappointment for me. Spider-Man, oh Jesus, we're doing these two? All right. So I'm going to put these three Spider-Man movies on B. Amazing Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. They were good. I enjoyed them. They're very well paced, very well thought out. And these Spider-Man movies going into utter trash because that's what the hell they were. The thing that I still don't understand how comic book writers, especially for shit like this, cannot put their minds around is if you have too much of a villain ensemble, everything gets mucked up. You can't have enough time played for every round to have it make sense. I mean, look at how in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you had Rhino in the very beginning, and then you don't see him until the very end, just before he throws a manhole cover into his face, and then the movie's over. What's the point? You're trying to shoehorn too much. There's better ways to go about doing it. I mean, hell, the Spider-Man video game did it better. Venom was utter trash. Both of them. One of my favorite characters, and it was just so piss poorly done, and just so much of a well, if you're 13, you're gonna love it because there's a lot of like fart and puke and eating people's faces and pretending to be bad but not really be bad bullshit, and no, it was just terrible. Now with Daredevil, I'm gonna preface this with saying I hate Daredevil. Every time I've tried to read a Daredevil story, I can't stand it. It's dumb as hell. And then something clicked, and the latest Chip Zdarsky run was absolutely fantastic. And It's the first Daredevil series that I bought, and I'm continuing to buy him as he's still writing him. And one of my favorite artists, Marco Cicchetto, is drawing it, and it is fantastic looking. That being said, the Daredevil show is an S tier. There are slow parts, but the slow parts give so much weight to the fast parts that it engages you, and you welcome the next wave of slow just to kind of go, hold up, I need to recover. Yeah, that show is fantastic. Moon Knight was garbage. To begin with, I did enjoy what they were trying to do with dissociative identity disorder. However, it became too much. Like whenever he was sitting there and all of a sudden the screen goes black and he wakes up and he's covered in blood and he goes, I don't know what the hell's going on. That would be about the experience that you, the viewer, would have trying to see what's going on. But then you could kind of let us in on everything that's going on before him. That way we can enjoy some of this other stuff, because you kept so many things behind bars that what was the point? So we had a little bit of Moon Knight in the very first episode, and then we had a little bit of Moon Knight at the very end, even whenever he's playing Sky DJ. Like, he was essentially useless. It was just really, really disappointing. The Multiverse of Madness was disappointing, because there almost seemed, if you removed Doctor Strange, there was almost nothing would really change. He was not an integral part. He was sort of an usher. I'm going to move this from here to here and move this from here to here, and that's all more than it's got to be, because stuff and things and reasons and stuff. They tried to again paint Wanda into the corner of actually being the Scarlet Witch, like they teased at the end of WandaVision, but they didn't lean into it. They're so scared to have that. Oh, we can't have a lady be evil. Then stay out of comic book movies, because there's a ton of them. It was the reason why, in my opinion, the latest X-Men films started to get all screwy, because like, let's make Rogue in charge of everything. Or not Rogue, Mystique. Mystique was always about herself. Just because Jennifer Lawrence was playing it does not mean that she gets to dictate the character's behavior. Fuck that. Fix it. Ms. Marvel, I'm going to say utter trash, because I didn't give a shit to watch it. Did not care at all. Same thing with Thor Love and Thunder. No. Defenders was okay. Iron Fist was utter trash, though. Jesus Christ, it was pathetic. He kept talking about, well, I'm the Iron Fist. Well, bitch, ball it up and fucking whack at somebody then. What the hell are you doing? You just keep claiming. Start whooping some ass. That's why we're watching the show. This next one might surprise some of you. Might not surprise some of you, depending on if we've spoken about it or not. But Punisher was utter trash. I still say the best portrayal of Punisher, as far as like a true to character, would be Thomas Jane in Dirty Laundry, which is not going to be on this list. But Ray Stevenson in Warzone was good, because it still had that comic book campiness to it, but that's more about who he's just going, I'll try to help out where I can, but you're on your own, because I can't be here to fight all your battles for you. Luke Cage gets an A. The only thing that prevents it from getting an S is the second half. Because the first 6 episodes, oh my God, that show was unstoppable. And then it went from unstoppable to just kind of like a wet windsock. So we're just going, ugh. All right, fine, I guess. Jessica Jones is S tier. No, that's A tier. I won't rewatch it, but I did enjoy what I saw. Yeah. Okay. Lightning round for She-Hulk, Groot, Legends, Morbius, Wakanda Forever, Werewolf by Night, whatever the hell that is. Yeah, I don't care to see any of those. I watched, there's a guy on YouTube called The Critical Drinker that talked about She-Hulk and made a couple of points to talk about how there was a lot of men bashing and how Jennifer Walters just got her Hulk powers. Not the same way. It was more like accidentally on purpose. I can blame you because it accidentally happened. And he's trying to teach her, Bruce is trying to teach her how to be Hulk. She goes, I know all about controlling my emotions because I do it infinitely more than you with all the catcalling and shit. And even the look on Hulk's face during that whole thing is just kind of, okay. Yeah, there's so much men bashing in these movies now that almost everything that's coming out lately is just ridiculous. But yeah, that's my ratings on these. Hit me with your best shots in the comments. I don't really care. You're not gonna change my mind about any one of these. I did remember seeing a post a few months ago talking about Shang-Chi was the greatest of all time Marvel movies. I could not stop laughing, going, you are a delusional as fuck. But yeah, got something you want to debate? Hit me up. Other than that, have a good one. Stay safe.